Hello, everyone. My apologies. Facebook would not let me go live. I've been having some technical difficulties all day today, so my apologies. But I did want to, share with you today and get this out to you. So welcome to Walking in Beauty. And I'm really glad to be sharing this kind of topic today because we are going into some powerful times. I mean, it always seems like we are, but it's like as we speak, we've got a magnetic storm happening. So we may actually even be able to see Aurora Borealis tonight, potentially even last night. I know I was looking and it was so cloudy out that I didn't see anything, but definitely take a peek outside tonight and see if you can see the northern lights, because that would be pretty amazing. Then we have this upcoming solar eclipse that is happening on Monday the 14th. So there's a lot of kind of excitement around that, a lot of energy around that. Typically with eclipses, it kind of casts a shadow over things that you may need to see, and then winter solstice, we have that Jupiter-Saturn conjunct where we are going to see this amazing star in the sky because Jupiter and Saturn are aligning with one another. And so there's so much light that is coming onto the planet right now with all of this. And, it's something to really kind of acknowledge. And, I've heard so many things about the Jupiter-Saturn conjunct. Some people are calling it the Christmas star, the Star of Bethlehem. And, with Jupiter is expansion, it's growth, it's magnification. It's probably the brightest, besides the sun, it's probably like the brightest, biggest star you will see in our planet in the sky. And then you have Saturn kind of in front of it. So Saturn is like structures and systems. But what's really cool about Saturn is that it is the teacher. And we all know that life can teach us in so many different ways. And a lot of times Saturn can also mean restriction. So, when you're having these planets aligning, Jupiter's expanding and it's shining down, and it's shining and amplifying that Saturn energy. So, there's a lot to be kind of like wondering, like, how is this going to affect things, and it's just something to be reflective on, because if you have resistance going on in your life right now, if you have challenges and blocks, really take a look at what Saturn is portraying in regards to being the teacher. So, with that said, it's like, what is this teaching me? What emotions and old stories, what limiting beliefs do I have around things? And how is this asking me to grow? So that's going to be a really important question as you move through this time right now. So why do you ask, does this have anything to do with walking in beauty? And I'm getting there, so kind of bear with me. I'm trying to kind of set up a scenario here, stage for you. So when I was about 5 years old, I had a near-death experience, and I almost drowned in my neighbor's pool. And this was one of the awakenings for me as I began to integrate the beauty way. This experience that I had, when I finally surrendered into the fight, into the struggle for my life, basically, what I experienced was so amazing, so fulfilling. It was like I was completely wrapped in bliss, completely wrapped in love. And, that feeling all around me was just so amplified. I was completely surrounded. I was completely connected to spirit. And then I kind of heard that quintessential voice that you hear people experience is, it's not your time. You have too many things to do. And as I mature and age and everything, it's like I realize a lot of the connotation behind that. People that really know me know that I'm a person that lives very purposefully. The teachings that I've learned, I'm passionate about, and there are things that I want to share. There are things that I want to pass down. And I realize that, kind of anybody who's living through this time right now, like we're made for this time. And if you're listening, you have things to do too. And so holding this resonance, this bliss, this beauty, this return to oneness. And that's exactly what it was like. It was that feeling of, oh my God, I'm home. And then I kind of like came, I rose out of my body. I saw the whole scenario floating above, and then I came back into my body. And I made it this conscious choice to hold that resonance within myself and to choose love in all things, regardless of what is happening around us, around me at any time. And that there is no separation with spirit and the physical. There's way more than we see here. So when we can walk through life and circumstances in this way, we're doing so by bringing more conscious awareness to the physical experience. And then it's up to us how we want to walk with that wisdom, with that awareness. And there's a difference there, because we can be kind of responsible in that awareness, in that consciousness, or maybe not. And, with everything in life as being a mirror, it reflects all of that for us. And a lot of that reflection is from our emotional body. So how are we keeping clear? What are we doing to, see those parts of ourselves, to see and work through those emotions in a very supportive way? So it's really about bringing this awareness to the forefront, to seeing love and the divine in all things. So just kind of an experiment here is to find something that really kind of triggers you, and something that you may have judgment towards. It may even be something within yourself, and this may be a catalyst for healing, self-healing. And just wrap it completely in love. Like you are a nurturer, a caretaker, a mother, like wrap it in love and understanding, and continue to send that love and light. And anytime it triggers you, seek to understand it a little bit more. There's a willingness to listen to that, and just start to see how it starts to transform within you. I really kind of learned this lesson for me. I was really looking at this in this time of quarantine. And that's why I feel like it's so important to bring this up right now. And so as we kind of move back into these planetary alignments, it's like we're moving through this portal, right? We have these beautiful energetic waves coming through into the planet. Everything is lighting up. So more and more people are going to be more conscious. More people are going to be aware. More people are going to understand what's lying behind what has not been seen. So all of these things, and when you think about structures and systems, you can see how this has been playing out, throughout this year. And so things are kind of falling away, and we find ourselves straddling between two worlds. So we're moving into this whole new kind of timeline right now with December 21st, with the winter solstice. You know, and when we're straddling two worlds, we tend to see from two different perspectives. So what are you choosing to see? And that's moving into that place within yourself where you can align yourself with that beauty, that love, that wisdom, and that you can walk in this way. So I want to kind of share a little story with you in that if you remember that big eclipse that happened in August of 2017, it was, you know, it was going across North America. We were capable of seeing it. And I decided to, one of the things that I like to do is I like to practice literally and physically walking my experience in the walk of beauty. That means embracing, embodying this feeling within yourself, and that you are just completely radiating that. And, you know, sometimes we can use this for personal reasons. This specifically, with this eclipse, it wasn't really about me. It was just about me connecting and surrendering and using that as a continual focus point. So if you've ever heard, I'm sure you have heard the saying, walk as if your feet are kissing the earth. And that's exactly what I was doing. So what I did was, during this time frame is when the penumbral actually starts to begin, I decided to go take a walk up, or a hike up Mount Beacon. And as I was doing so, I was just completely surrendering, completely embodying this connection to this temple within myself, to the temple, the environment around me in nature. I was completely surrounded by the trees, by the energies of the earth. And, you know, we can really be supported when we are in those energies, because we are moving back into the purity of what that is. And so with every single step that I took walking up that mountain, and it was so, you know, it was so kind of poetic too, because Mount Beacon, you know, beacon of light, like there was just so much power in that walk. And what I learned in the process of that, you know, and it was more of like this embraced feeling that, you know, even when you move into that place of love within yourself and you're radiating that light without, you know, any expectation, you see the world around you just start to create in itself. And as I was doing that, with every step I took, and I'm not even exaggerating, I saw hearts everywhere. Like with every step I took, like I would see a stone heart. And it literally was like mapping out every step that I took. So it was like the earth, spirit, you know, that feeling of going into that place of bliss that I described before. It was like I was completely in that space again. And it's just so, so powerful. And it ripples out in ways that you cannot even imagine. So kind of another story that I have, if you don't mind, just because I like sharing it. You know, I decided to kind of walk with the spirit of cacao medicine, of the chocolate bean. And, you know, to journey with that plant is really amazing. It is, you know, just think about all the things that you feel, you know, if you're a chocolate lover, you know, it's like, it's something that medicinally it is healing for the heart. It's healing for the emotions. And right now that would be actually a really good drink to consume at this time, because, you know, just of everything that's going on. We're surrounded by fear. We're surrounded by the unknown. There's a lot of stress. So many people that I know have been experiencing anxiety. And, you know, I've even experienced that, some of that myself, just because, you know, just the intensity of what we went through and what we're still going through. not being able to see friends and all these things that are so nurturing for us, but to find ways. So what I did was I decided to go on a 21-day cacao journey. And what I did was I ceremoniously made batches of cacao, and I was drinking it, I was kind of sipping the cacao, the plant medicine, several times a day. And I would kind of, move into the stillness, move into the internal experience of what that was. So it was kind of like this medicinal plant that is probably really close to the resonance of what I'm talking about here. And I did that for 21 days. And I saw what it did to my physical body, what it did to my self-love, self-appreciation. So now I'm giving you kind of an example of something that was very internal and personal. And to be able to walk within experience, even a plant, to use that as medicine. Now, what if you were to do that with a person? What if you were to do that with a challenge, a situation, to really kind of journey and move through that process with it versus against it? And so by the end of this 21 days, it was actually my very last day. I decided to go to Minnewaska State Park, and some of you may know that. It's in New Paltz, and it's this waterfall. And it was right at the end of winter. So we're just going into spring. We just had that, beautiful, nice thaw. This was like the first day that it was like warm, where you really had the sun beating on you and you're just like, oh my God, like I'm warm. I can feel that warmth, even though it's still cold. So I go to this waterfall, and it's not completely thawed. So, it has like ice all over the place, but it does have water coming down, and there was this huge cavern at the bottom of it. And it was completely shaped like this open, cavernous heart. And the water's just like flowing down into this heart chamber, literally. And there's this amazing rainbow that's just blasting out of this waterfall. It was like, I literally was like looking around to see freaking unicorns, okay? Like, no joke. It was one of the most amazing, beautiful experiences. And I know that that was the symbology. It was almost like the end of the rainbow, the end of that kind of cacao journey that, just sealed it all up. And no, I was not on drugs, just cacao. So there's real power behind building energy and momentum when you are holding the space of this energetic place, this energetic resonance within you, this light form, this light essence, this fire that stirs within you. And you take that onto your walk through the everyday. You can be going to school, you can be going to work, you can be sitting at home in your living room bored because you don't want to go outside right now, or it's getting cold, or I can't do this or I can't do that because of all of these restrictions, and so it's really powerful. And when you get outside in nature, in the process of it, it will show you in the most beautiful, divine ways of that beauty that is reflecting inside of you. And that is when you can really experience the magic and enchantment behind what natural abundance is, what abundance actually is. It's like oftentimes we think of prosperity, and we can still have that all around us. When you think about manifestation, a big part of what that is being able to be in alignment and a vibrational match to what it is that you're seeking. And one way to achieve that is by going out into nature, by feeling abundant, by being able to look at trees and rocks and the animals, to see beauty in the smallest of details, to see beauty in everyone, everything that you come in contact with. And the more and more you hold that vibration, the more opportunities you will be able to see that. And your life will be in awe. In awe. Circumstances, people that you're supposed to meet, things lining up. It just all happens and moves, in succession in ways that, you can't even imagine. Like, you hear people saying, like, you can't make this shit up. And this is something that I really love to teach in wandering quests. And so right now it's so important to embrace this time, because we have to remind ourselves that, we're entering into a new door. We're walking through a completely new door. So I remember seeing this image, and I wish I had it. I tried looking for it and I couldn't find it. But basically it was kind of like, it was the planetary alignments walking into place until that Jupiter-Saturn conjunction. So, it reminded me of like steps, you know what I mean? So it was kind of like this walk, and teaching this class actually was something that came to me kind of in spirit, and I was really moved. I could feel it, and it was something that I knew I needed to share. And so as we're walking, right, it's like, it's good to know that you're in the process of walking towards something, so that you can be deliberate in the process of it, and it's coming. You have the wherewithal, you have the awareness, you have the ability to move into a place that is connected, that is fortified, that is prepared to make the move through, versus getting your ass shoved through the door and then realizing, oh my God, like I have to freaking change. And that happened to all of us in a way, you know what I mean? So, as we kind of work with these energies, it's trying to move into that place of softness, understanding with ourselves, with other people, with the things that are happening. And, there's so many people now that are going to be stepping into leadership positions, leadership roles, being teachers, being way showers, being light sharers, and that we're moving through all this together. And, that's a really beautiful thing. And the thing is like, when you have a foothold in two worlds, you see two sides of a story. You can be conscious of what it is that you are bringing with you in that next step. You're bringing in all of the goodness, all of the blessings, all of the beautiful wisdom that you've learned, everything that you want to bring with you, and you unload everything else. I was actually listening to this astrologer channeler just the other day, and she was talking about how when we thought that the Mayan calendar ended on 2012, how because of the way our calendar is set up with the Julian calendar, that they're actually saying that it's this December 21st, 2020. And I don't know, this is just something that I've heard, but I thought that was, very interesting. And, just something to be aware of. And even then, there was just such an uprising and awakening of people, even then back in 2012. I remember that. Like, I remember walking through that. That was powerful, So here we are again. And we can shed more layers, especially all this fear that we have like programmed in our minds now because of this, pandemic and everything, and just everything that's going on. And I find that, you know, I just a little something to share is that I've been wanting to like physically kind of like move energy in my body, you know what I mean? Because I want to be able to kind of tap those things out. And, you know, you can use EFT tapping, and there's a lot of ways to move energy. But, you know, one of the oldest, most ancient ways to move energy in the body is through the meridian system. And we have access to that. We have the ability to trace our energy and the flow in our body. Even if you are experiencing anxiety or fear, and you're just like all up here, you're stressed and you're trying to relax, you know, like literally swipe it away. You know, get your body moving, allow that energy to flow, stretch, do yoga, breathe, you know, all these things. And so I wanted to just kind of share with you a little offering that I'm having, because I know that it's so important to be supported at this time, especially if you're holding things like that, you're feeling that way, and you're in this place of fear, and you're in this place of misalignment, you know, or you know, and that's not to kind of confuse things that, you know, in a way, a lot of what we are taught about alignment and manifestation, it's like, you know, I have to think positively, and I need to change my thoughts and transform my thoughts and everything like that. But, you know, we have to really allow these emotions to kind of move through us. Otherwise, we're just kind of stuffing it down and slapping on band-aids, you know, to try to transform it. But meanwhile, there's still that feeling, you know, and that's where we have to go in. And sometimes we need support in that process. And that's okay, you know, because if you are still, you know, this is where you don't have to kind of like beat yourself up in the manifestation process and the alignment process, because when you are in your light, when you are in your abundance within yourself, when you are walking in beauty, that vibe, that is the vibe that is you. That is the vibe that is of oneness. And to be reminding yourself that you can access that point by going in and feeling it, you know, and then dealing with the emotions that arise. And that's okay. You know, we have to look at these things to be able to release them. So just a little sharing that I want to, you know, just share with you is that I will be offering 4 weekly sessions that consist of 4 one-on-one coaching calls, energy clearings, and activations to release those fears, those limiting beliefs, and then to recalibrate you into your empowerment, into feeling more open to receiving abundance and flow, to be able to kind of come back into center, to be able to move through these times and release a lot of the things that we need to let go of right now. So you can integrate more with balance and awareness through these times. And it's a place where you can bring your own personal challenges and to really experience that upgrade. So if you want to kind of upgrade those abundance codes to receive more prosperity and overflow in life, to walk in beauty, to activating the divine witness within yourself, to experience awe, to set your dial to true north and to follow that inner compass, and that we're working on this process of creating those intentions to nurture that powerful connection and to sharpen your spiritual skills of awareness in the practical everyday. This is also meant to strengthen your spiritual and emotional bodies through self-healing work and to explore new ways of intuitive communication, to raise your consciousness, to create lifestyle shifts that feel more aligned and supportive to your life's path, to your life's purpose. So in week 1, we will be going through a releasing process. Week 2, we're setting intentions. We're building upon a foundation. Week 3, we're spiritually integrating, and we're bridging and merging the physical and the spiritual. And then we're moving into manifestation in week 4. So if you want more information, you can just go to donnabrickwood.com. It's pretty simple. It's just my name.com. And right now I'm taking 4 spots. So 4 spots are available. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. And I would love to kind of work with you through this process. You know, it's really coming back into that place of your own awareness, to feeling stable, to feeling secure, and to be able to move in the right direction where you feel like, you know, I have support energetically, and to really embrace these times now. So with that, I just wanted to share that. And if you have any questions, like I said, please feel free to reach out to me directly. But I'd like to end with a little journey. So if you haven't journeyed before, I want you to just allow yourself to relax, to be open to receiving any information that kind of comes to you. So this could be in the way of thoughts, random thoughts, visualizations, anything that you may hear or experience in your journey. It's all kind of relative, you know? So we all experience journeys in different ways. We all experience intuitive hits in different ways. You know, when we're really connecting to the spiritual body, it's really an extension of our senses. When we move into a place of awareness, when we move into a place of what true presence is. And, you know, when you think about psychic gifts or intuitive gifts, you know, you think of clairaudience, clairvoyance, the ability to see, and it's really an extension from what our natural capability is, and that we are connecting to that, to a higher vibration of more clarity. So with the journey, I'm just going to get my drum here. What I would like for us to do is we are going to journey into this beautiful wildflower field. And I want you to imagine yourself kind of walking into this field. And when you get to the field, you're going to ask three times, please, Spirit, show me my animal guide. Show me my animal guide. Please show me my animal guide. And in that process of surrendering to what happens, just allow your environment within your mind's eye to be in your imagination, to explore, and to allow whatever happens to happen. So, you know, this can be animals that are coming up to you, and there may be some that may acknowledge you and some that may not. So kind of go with the ones that are acknowledging you, that are, you know, trying to interact with you. And then when that animal appears, just ask, is there anything that I need to know right now? Is there anything that I need to know right now? And just allow yourself to go, to play, for it to answer any questions. You know, if any other questions arise, ask. And so this is just kind of like your own self-guidance, your own self-guided journey. So in that process, I'll be playing the drum, and it'll be kind of at this cadence. When you hear me change the cadence to a faster tempo is when you will start to come out of the journey. And at that point, you're honoring the animal. You may even want to ask, how can I honor you in the physical? and allow yourself to just give thanks and come back out of the journey. So again, just to recap, you're going into a beautiful field and you don't necessarily need to stay there. Just see how it goes. Just see how your own imagination plays this whole thing out. Go to the field, ask 3 times to see your animal spirit. And when you find that animal spirit, ask, what would you like me to know right now? What's important? What do I need to know? Thank it, honor it, ask how you can honor it. And close your eyes. Just take your time. Opening your eyes whenever you feel ready. You might want to take a moment to journal anything that came in that experience, whether it just be any kind of random thoughts, could even be that you were struggling and, write what was going on there. Whether you saw something, whether you didn't, what your animal was. And I just wanted to share with you my journey. This was a part of why I wanted to do this live too, was because I wanted to see what people were getting and having a little bit of the sharing experience. But So when I went to my animal guide, I actually asked, what do these viewers need to know right now? So I kind of wanted to get some information for you all. And I have this beautiful fox friend, and it can be very playful. And so what I asked was, what do they need to know right now? And it was really all about self-care. And what the fox was doing was, it was literally like planting. You know how they kind of like jump up and go into the ground, into like snow? It was kind of like opposite, where it like planted its tail right into the ground, and then it would like jump up out, and then it literally took a hair dryer and would like dry its tail off, so it would be like nice and fluffy and like pristine. So it was literally a way of like washing oneself with plugging its energy into the earth. And then it like did that a couple times, and I'm just laughing at it because it's just silly. um, but it was really really all about self-care, and cleaning oneself off so that you're fluffy and all good. um, I know that there was another piece in that, and that's the reason why you should write these down, because they can go like that, um, from your memory. But if I happen to remember it, I will post it with this video. And anyway, thank you so much if you've been with me this far. If you have any questions at all, I would love to hear any of your thoughts and sharings if you end up listening to this class, this video. If you have any questions about the personal program that I'm doing, definitely feel free to reach out as well. And I wish the best for you at this time. And, take those steps as you're walking in beauty. Take those steps as you're walking towards that beautiful door that's opening right now. So, love to all. Take care.